You've been through a number of these, but 2 years in a row doing this with no playoffs. What's your emotional situation right now? How are you feeling?
No, it's disappointing, especially with the way that we finished the year. We were playing good hockey, and you look when you miss by, the margin that we have the last couple of years. There's so many games that you look and plays and things that you'd want to redo. It's a fine line, and unfortunately, we've been on the wrong side of that the last couple of years.
You said going way back to the season ticket delivery thing in September. You said consistency was what you hoped the team would find more.
Yeah.
It just, other than maybe yourself, it just didn't really happen as much as you wanted, right?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely, I think, took some time for us to find our game, and we just ran out of runway a bit. Basically that's what it came down to. But I think with a lot of the newer guys that we had this year, it was a pretty big turnover, and you always know it's going to take time, and it doesn't happen overnight. But hopefully this is something that, having gone through this year, that will make us better.
With your contract extension looming here this offseason, you're playing as well as you did individually this year. Does that go into the calculus of how long you might want to bump that out? Like, you played as well as you did this year. Like, does that say in your head? Like, do you have a number in your head, or because you put up the numbers that you did today or this year, you might think, I can sign this for a real long time?
Yeah, no, I don't really think like that. I've always just gone year to year, and that's always kind of served me well as far as how I evaluate my game and that sort of thing. There's always a lot of factors, but I think that's separate from talking contract, and obviously at my age and things like that, there'll be a lot of factors. But as far as just evaluating my game, I don't look any differently at how much longer I can play based off that. I think it's always just evaluating my game for what it is, not my age.
Just to clarify, when you said year to year, are you thinking about doing year-to-year deals moving forward?
No, I'm saying just when you're looking at year to year and evaluating your game, it doesn't, whether I was 26 and had a good year, I don't like, it's nice that, I felt good, was able to play all the games and things like that. But as far as the outlook, I don't think it changes how I approach that.
Do you have the intention of signing a extension when you can this summer, when it's possible?
Well, I mean, obviously I'm going to talk to Kyle and have a conversation with him, but we'll see. I think it just, it's something that, I'll have conversations with him about.
So do the last 3 weeks give you confidence that this group can get to ultimately where you guys want to get back to?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was encouraging. I think with the situation that we were in, it could have went a lot of different ways, and I thought everyone really came together, and I've said a number of times, I mean, every single guy contributed to us, having a chance down the stretch. So, I think that's something that you can definitely build on, and hopefully, that little bit of momentum that we got, we can take that into next year.
Have you given any thought to the World Championships yet?
Yeah, a little bit. Something I'm going to think about here the next couple of days, and give them an answer after that.
Sid, I remember, I think it was before last year when Chris signed his deal, and you were asked about the number of years he could play, and he said, what did he say, 5, 6?
Yeah.
He played 82, you played 82. I mean, it's not so funny, I mean, right? Like, I mean, you guys have shown that you can do this. Like, is that, you think about how long you want to keep doing this for 82 games every year? I mean, is that starting to
I think
go through your head?
I think that's why I just go a year at a time, thinking about it, because there's no point in worrying about 4 or 5 years from now. There's always so many factors, I think, when you get to this point, and I think even with Tanger, I mean, it wasn't easy for him to play those 82. I mean, he was pretty banged up by the end of it. I think typically at the end of seasons it's always like that, but he played through a lot, so I don't want to speak for him, but I wouldn't think he's thinking about 4 years from now right now.
How are you physically?
I think he's just worried about getting healthy and feeling good for next year. But yeah, I don't really don't really think that far ahead, to be honest with you. That's just how I feel and how I approach it.
How are you feeling physically?
I feel pretty good. Yeah, I think as far as the body goes, it doesn't get any easier, but I think relative to a full season and our schedule it's always pretty busy, March and down the stretch here, but this was even more so than other years, I feel like. So I feel like we handled that well.
Sid, looking back at it, how tough was it to lose Jake after all those years you guys have played together, and what did you learn about OC?
Yeah, it's tough. With Gens getting hurt and then, just all the uncertainty, when the deadline's looming, that a lot of things can happen. And on top of that, just, with where we were at, it kind of adds to it. So it wasn't easy, and it's something that no matter how many times you go through it, you always learn from those situations. But I think, like you said, I think OC is a guy that, got some more opportunity, with some of the changes, and I think he ran with it. He got a lot of responsibility and played great for us, especially in the second half here, and seems like he's just continuing to get better and better. So that's a credit to him and the way he works and his ability to raise his game.
What's it been like, you guys sitting next to each other? And I think there have been times when not privy to the actual conversations, but it seems like he's able to pick your brain and stuff like that. Were you able to really kind of work with him a little bit that way off the ice?
Yeah, I think sitting next to each other, we talk. Sometimes it's hockey, and when you're able to form a relationship there, and just have an open line of communication, I think it's good. You can tell that he really wants to learn, and that he's eager and willing to put in the work, and that's the biggest thing. I don't think it matters necessarily what I say, but it's up to him, and I think that you can tell that he wants to get better and improve, and he shows it every day.
Thanks, Sid.
Thanks, Sid.